Since the 1970s, over 30 young women and girls have disappeared or been found murdered in the 50-mile desolate area between Houston and Galveston, a stretch of land that some call a highway of hell.
Authorities tell us that they have identified 2 Jane Does in the Killing Field murders.
Yes, hi, good morning. I could not possibly overstate how monumental a development this is in murder cases that, as you mentioned, stretch back nearly 4 decades. League City Police have announced that they have identified Jane and Janet Doe. These are 2 victims from the so-called Killing Fields murders.
A smart serial killer, one who knows how to cover his tracks, can baffle any police department. And this one at the Killing Fields was taking years between his killings. He was patiently waiting before bringing another body under the tree and laying her out. How could such a monster exist?
This kind of thing wasn't supposed to happen here. This is the middle-class community of Friendswood, south of Houston, a place that had once been chosen one of the safest places in America.
It's become this kind of ghost story for South Texas. For these parents, this mystery is not just a ghost story. It is a horrible reality.
That monster's still there. He just hasn't struck. It's going to happen.
All haunted places have a story to tell. It can be tragic, it can be scary, and it can be very dangerous. This is Colin Browen, and these are the Paranormal Files.
Okay, so I needed, can you shine on Connor for a second? So I needed a new memory card for my camera. We went back to the car, about to go back in the forest, and these 2 cunning siblings discovered this plate right here.
Something ceramic.
It looks like a plate.
Just shattered and like thrown everywhere.
And the grave, or not the graves, but the memorials are right over there.
They're way over there, but this doesn't look like it was just shattered right here. It looks like it was like displaced, you know?
Well, you want to flip it over?
Here. Dude, this is. Look at these over here.
And they all have.
They're all different colors too.
That's even written on the back. Why should I... Someone so selfish.
Wow.
Can't sleep unless someone is there. Wow. First time, no goodbye, none of that. Don't do the same thing you did to me. What?
What the
That's heavy.
hell?
Rest of my life with you. A small moment I believed.
Pain, ... you caused me.
Okay.
I fell for you so much, and it freaked.
Look at all the ants on me.
Oh, get up.
Oh my god.
Oh, look at that little creature.
There were so many ants. There was literally so many ants.
Still on the side of your leg.
I literally just got bit by so many.
Oh my god, that's literally...
Look at it.
Look at that.
I had no idea.
Courtney just kneeled down in an ant mound.
Huge ant
Okay,
pile.
but these plates are creepy.
Look at how this one's like circled around.
It's all weird stuff.
Like the thing that they're saying in this, it was all around here. Like, I love you. You see that?
I let out my last.
I fell for you so much, and it freaked, and it broke
like this
off by
one.
there.
I can't sleep unless someone is there. No goodbye, none of that.
Oh my god, look at those ants though.
Oh, I know.
That hurts so bad.
Okay, let's go into the woods. I literally cannot believe that I wasn't filming this, but we're walking back into the Killing Fields right now. We had the Ovilus on. It literally just said, I'm trying to get it, Robert. Robert.
Right as we entered the forest.
Right as we got here. This is the entrance to the path we're on. Literally, one of the main suspects, his name is Robert Abel. Is Robert Abel getting away with murder? This is a news article about the Killing Fields.
That's so insane.
That's crazy.
That's literally
Is that not freaky?
insane.
I got chills when it popped up.
That's f***ing insane.
What are the odds that like the person who's a suspect of all of
Robert.
these killings
Yeah.
would pop up on here?
Robert. I mean,
That's so scary.
Can't really say anything else about
no,
it.
there's you can't deny what just popped
it
up
just
like that.
said it right when we walked into the woods. I mean, it was honestly right when we passed the right where the forest starts. Right when I walked past it, this hit Robert.
And we were like, Robert. And literally, I just
pulled up
typed
your
in right here,
phone.
Texas Killing Fields Robert. Is Robert Abel getting away with murder?
That is insane.
That's literally the name of like one of the main suspects throughout all this, Robert. Here you go. That's nutty. Why don't we just sit right here?
Turn the
Right
REM
on the
pod on.
crossroads.
Okay, everybody, it's 1:30 a.m. right now. We're here in the Killing Fields. We just got the Robert answer on the Ovilus, which is pretty bizarre. I mean, like, what's the chance that the name that we get is the actual name of the suspect?
And that's the first name we've gotten all night.
And you can't fake an Ovilus. It happens, you know? That's just weird. But we're gonna set up the REM pod right here. We're at a kind of crossroads in the fields. There's a very creepy looking path right there, covered in fog. The camera just doesn't pick it up. Another path right there, and another path right there.
There's literally noises coming from every single direction.
Yeah.
And it's really scary out here.
Either way, the animals, I don't want to fuck with that, you know?
Definitely not.
If you're out here, were you murdered by a man named Robert? Could you walk over to us and talk to us? Let's get the spirit box out. One more time. If there's anybody here, you might have just told us that Robert was the one who committed these crimes. Can you say yes if these crimes were committed by a man named Robert?
Oh my.
Owl is loud as hell all of a sudden.
Can you tell me why you said Robert?
That owl's crazy. All of a sudden.
Really spooky.
Everybody, we're about to leave. If there's anything that you guys would like to say to us, those who were victimized, we would love to hear what you have to say.
We would love to communicate with you if you wouldn't mind speaking with us.
interact with us with any way you need to. We just want to know what happened.
This red light right here, you can come near it. That was insane how the REM pod was literally going off so hard over there.
Yeah.
When we first got here.
Where the bodies were found.
Like it literally since then it just hasn't.
It hasn't hit a single time. We've been here for hours.
It hit one time when y'all were gone. It hit once. And
Weird.
I was like really away from it.
Okay guys, so it's the end of the night. It's almost 2 a.m. Like I said, we gotta drive back to Austin right now, so it's quite a drive, but we'll be back at the Killing Fields. We've got an interview with someone that's very, very close to the case. We're gonna explore the area even deeper. I gotta get my wisdom teeth out next week, so I'm not looking forward to that. But so we ended up actually losing the first part of that investigation. We were having REM spikes on the REM pod. We were capturing voices on the spirit box. I can't remember the responses that we were getting, but it alluded to a female spirit that was in the area, which may have been one of the victims. I don't know. I don't want to make assumptions. But you saw there that we got the name Robert on the Ovulus. Now, who's Robert? Why is this name so important? Why do I consider that to be one of the most compelling pieces of paranormal evidence that I've ever captured? Well, let's dig a little bit deeper into the story of one of the main suspects in the Killing Fields murders.
The second suspect's name was Robert Abel. Robert was a retired NASA engineer, an extremely smart guy who owned land on parts of the oil field where the girls' bodies were found. After the fourth victim, Donna, was discovered, Robert went out of his way to involve himself in the investigation. So much so that he would try to tell law enforcement how they should investigate. He was helping them clear brush around the area, and he even let them use some of his horses during the investigation. Which, I know there are going to be people that say, well, maybe he was just a concerned citizen who really wanted to help solve the murders, which is an argument that I completely understand. But it's important to consider that it's extremely common for offenders to involve themselves in investigations of crimes that they have committed. It's almost like they get a front row seat to watch all that they've done and all of the ramifications play out right in front of them. So obviously, straight away, Robert deeply involving himself in the crime scenes and investigations was very suspicious to investigators.
Eventually, after the initial searches of the area, police decided that Robert may actually be a person of interest, and one of the detectives on the case, Detective Bittner, decided to bring him in for a formal interview. In a suspicious turn of events, when Detective Bittner asked Robert if he had ever had any bodies turn up on his property, Robert got extremely defensive and angry, and he stopped the interview. He proceeded to literally get up and leave the police station. Bittner and other investigators found this overreaction to be extremely suspicious. Rightfully so. Detectives on the case also believed that based on the FBI profiling, the perpetrator was considered to be an organized killer. And an organized killer is usually someone very intelligent, someone who is known to fit in with their peers without raising any suspicion. Investigators believe that Robert fit this profile almost to a T. He was a NASA engineer, so he was clearly very smart, and most people that knew him described him to be a great guy. And he even opened up and ran a very popular riding trail where people would come to ride horses, so he was obviously able to blend into society well. His riding trail was also extremely close to the area where the 4 bodies were found.
A couple years went by and law enforcement officials hadn't really made much progress in the case when out of the blue Detective Bittner got a call from Robert's wife, Paula. Paula told Bittner that she and Robert were separating and she finally felt like she could come clean about the real Robert Abel. I think that Paula had an inkling that Robert was involved because what she told investigators was absolutely chilling. Paula began to tell detectives that although Robert seemed put together on the outside, he often had these fits of rage where he would just get so angry that he would beat their livestock, and sometimes Robert would just disappear for days at a time and not tell Paula where he had been. She also said that there were several times when she found nude photos of women in his belongings. Even if Robert wasn't a killer, this behavior is obviously super suspicious. Before the interview was over, Paula also told detectives that you're going to want to talk to Robert's previous wife, Cindy.
When detectives called Cindy, they discovered that she and Robert were only married for 41 days. Apparently, on their honeymoon, Cindy didn't want to have sex with Robert one night, and he got so upset that he told her, "If you ever deny me sex again, I will kill you." Cindy also confirmed that Robert would beat animals when he got angry, and that she would constantly find nude photos of women in his possession. This behavior seemed to follow Robert through every relationship he was involved in, but this information alone was obviously not enough to arrest arrest him, so Bittner turned to the FBI for help and contacted a man who specialized in sexual homicides named David Gomez. Bittner gave Gomez all of the details of the case, and Gomez created a profile of the killer. Gomez concluded that the killer would most likely involve himself in the investigation somehow, which Robert did. He also said that the killer would have a comfort zone or area that he would kill in, and it would be very unlikely that he would deviate from this zone. He said that the murderer probably had a superior attitude and a history of cruelty to animals, and that he will likely act out his anger. He concluded that the killer most likely collected trophies from his victims. Bittner was blown away as he heard this profile because Robert checked almost all of the boxes.
And I didn't know that law enforcement officials were allowed to do this, but apparently if someone matches a perpetrator's profile well enough, they're allowed to get a search warrant for their property. So, in November of 1993, agents showed up to Robert's house with a warrant and started their search. They found the nude photos of women that both Paula and Cindy had referenced, 3 .22 caliber handguns, a tooth on his counter, and they vacuumed his floors in an attempt to locate hair strands from victims. The agents even took parts of Robert's curtains to see if they possibly matched the strangulation marks left on the victims' necks. And after all of this hard work, they came up with nothing. The gun wasn't able to be matched to the guns used at the crime scene because they were too deteriorated. The tooth found on his counter ended up being his own tooth, and a woman came forward identifying herself in the nude photos. So after all of this confidence and effort to discover evidence of Robert's involvement, officials had absolutely nothing that tied him to the crimes. However, one thing that was interesting to investigators that they found were newspaper clippings of the Texas Killing Fields serial killer, which is suspicious because a lot of killers will do that so that they can go back and read about what they've done. It's almost like a power trip to them, or some sort of grim trophy. In another sort of grim twist of fate, Robert actually ended up committing suicide years later by driving his car and parking it on train tracks and waiting for a train to collide with his vehicle. Whatever answers he had in this case, it seems Robert took to his grave.
Visited the Killing Fields. We wanted to stop by these stables in question where Robert Abel worked with his son. He was giving tourists rides on horseback throughout this country, area, and possibly committing these murders, allegedly, according to some people. But when we went out there, the place is abandoned now. The stables have been shuttered for a long time, and there are these really odd signs posted all over the front of the stables. Let me just read you a little bit of what this one says. It says, "Take a picture. It lasts longer. What would the news media think about this? It's the Freedom of Speech Act. Let's play a game of truth to see who wins in the game of life. Both governments, good and bad, would shrivel up and die without the taxpayers' support. Our heroes have a blessed day. Ma and Pa there everywhere." It's like, what is this sign, man? I've never seen something like this. I don't know if one of the family members put this up, Robert's son, potentially. This is another sign that's on here. Code violation 10.5, article number 2 requires grass and weeds to be cut below 12 inches, not in compliance for proper legal issues. And the lawnmower man and Mr. Weed, the weed whacker man, for city maintenance to mow grass. Crimes against humanity and nature apply. Like, what is that? I mean, let me know below what you think those signs mean. But either way, these are the stables that we were talking about that Robert worked at. These stables were raided by the cops at one point, and they may hold an answer that nobody's been able to get to this point. Okay, everybody, so I'm about to call Tiffany. She used to work at the stables that are in question that one of the suspects of the Killing Fields murders, Robert Abel, he owned and operated with his son. And she shared with me some disturbing information over Instagram in response to a TikTok that I made about the Killing Fields. So I'm going to call her on Zoom right now and talk to her about what she experienced when she was working there at these stables that are in question.
My name's Tiffany Phelps. I actually been following Colin on YouTube and everything like that for a couple years now, and I saw him on TikTok, and it was about the Texas Killing Fields. I actually worked at the Texas Killing Fields with my mom, and we did everything there. So, well, not at the fields, but at the stables out there. Stardust Trail Rides is what it was called.
And so yeah. Thanks for watching, by the way. I appreciate it. That's so fun. We were just at the at the place where the 4 bodies were found,
Mm-hmm.
those stables that you're talking about are the ones that are right there, right?
Yeah.
And they're closed down now?
Yep, they closed down after I graduated. So I graduated high school in 99. And they were still up and running, and then shortly after that they closed down.
Wow. And they've just been kind of sitting there ever since.
Yeah. Yep, it's been a while since I've been back, but yeah.
When we went, there were some just really funky signs on it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what that's about?
No, it's like I said, it's been a while, but there was, it was odd out there anyway. Not gonna lie, it was kind of creepy out there.
Yeah.
Just working there. Like, my mom and I wouldn't be on property if it was certain people only. We would leave the property. We didn't feel comfortable around certain people. And we had a bunch of people that worked out there with us. So
what do you mean? Like, what was the reasoning behind not wanting to
so we didn't feel comfortable around his son. So Will freaked us out. It was something about his physical body. Just being around him just felt off. It was like, no, I don't like him. I'm not going to be by myself.
Almost a feeling.
Mm-hmm. And my mom was the same way. She was like, and my mom is she's a Southern woman who's very, hard-headed and open and brass about whatever. She has no filter. She'll get up in somebody's face, no problem. And she was like, that's one person I don't ever want to get up in his face. She goes, I'll put him in his place if I have to, but I never wanted to be alone with him.
Really? And that's just based on a vibe that you got from the guy?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And he was creepy anyway. He was like, he was shorter, and my mom's tall, and I'm kind of tall for me, but just the way he carried himself was just like standoffish, kind of a general asshole,
Mm-hmm. And that's interesting because Robert is the suspect. When we went out to that area where those 4 bodies were found, we used an Ovilus. You can't make this shit up. The moment we turned it on, the only word that came through, Robert, on the Ovilus.
So that intrigued my mom and I, because we listened to everything, and because I told her about it, I was like, okay, you've got to watch this. And she was like, oh yeah, that definitely happened. Yep, know where that's at. Yep. And she was like, his son's name though was Robert Will Abel.
Really? So he was also Robert.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Was he ever a suspect in the murders? The son?
I don't know, but that's who we always thought. Once we started going a little bit more, the older man, I could be around him no problem. He was just he felt like a grandpa to me, and I was, 17, 16. I was 15 when I started out there, and it never seemed creepy to me. Being around him, my dad always knew him. My brother was out there with us. He was never the creepy one. It was always Will that gave us the heebie-jeebies.
Weird. I've done a lot of research on all this, and I really haven't even heard about his son or anything too in depth about that.
I'm gonna pull it up over here real quick.
My question, just also to give people some context, what did you do at the stables? Like, what was you and your mom's job?
What did we not do? So we would open the stables. We would bring the horses from the back pastures to the front, get them prepped for the day rides. We would be the one literally feeding them, getting everything ready. We had church groups, Girl Scouts, little, Boy Scouts come out, and we would do trail rides all day long. We did a lot with the paraplegic. So those children that were injured and stuff like that couldn't think they could ride horses, well, we had them riding horses. We would have trail rides for hours. We did midnight cattle drives where we would go to the back of the pasture and move cattle from one side to the other, and then we would have a barbecue dinner in the middle. There were overnight excursions that we set up for people out there, like if they booked an overnight adventure, they could camp out there and the whole works. So we did everything. It was literally like living on a farm, stable hands, what we did.
Sounds fun to me, honestly.
Exactly. To me, it was life. You know, I was a 15-year-old sophomore in high school, and I got the run of the mill going, okay, I'm gonna go out to the stables, pick my horse for the day, and just go ride for hours, and no one thought anything of it, you know.
And what years was this?
So we were there from 96 to 99.
Okay.
And my mom was there about a year before me, because it was my freshman year really when she started, and then all the way through my high school.
And so everything was pretty normal there, except for these kind of weird moments you have.
Yeah. And so I asked my mom, I was like, do you remember all that? And she was like, oh yeah, I remember them showing up at the gate. She goes, I remember them coming out on the property, walking the property. She was like, you know, that's when we were like, okay, what's really going on? And they didn't find anything up in the like really close at first, you know. And it was like the farther back in the property we would go with the cattle and stuff like that, we'd go, okay, that's not a cow bone.
So I'm going to introduce, so who was coming? Were you talking about the police or?
So if I believe correct, my mom said it was the police, the FBI. I don't remember. She didn't go into detail, but she said they came out on property and they were like, you know, didn't really give an explanation. They just went out, you know, because they can do whatever. And it was like, okay.
That's when you started to think there's something off. I mean, the police don't just come to, you know, search a place for no reason.
And it's funny. So I just got a message from my mom. I have a camera over here and she's actually listening. And she's like, he would leave for 2 to 3 days and be gone and no worries to us, and just come back and be like, hey, I'm back. He'd be here for a couple of days, then he would leave.
Old Robert or young Robert or Will?
Both.
Really? They would just be gone and then just reappear magically.
Yeah. They would, you know, they wouldn't tell us, hey, we're leaving. We'd be out on property, and next thing you know, we're like, okay, I guess we're closing up and counting books and opening it up the next day.
That's just odd, really. For a business, you know, when you have a business to just be gone, you know?
Yeah.
And
they were odd. They were odd.
Yeah, I can tell from the stories and also your experience. So let's talk about what we initially talked about, the bones. Can you kind of go into detail about?
So there were times when we had the cattle drive. I said they were in the back part of the property, and we'd be moving things around, and you would see bones sitting there on the ground. Sometimes you're thinking, okay, that's a cow bone, you know, the coyotes got them. And then we would do a check on the cattle, see what was there, and then what was going on, you know, or coyotes, are we keeping an eye out for coyotes attacking something? And then it'd be like, well, that's not really a cow bone, that's not a horse, what is that?
Interesting.
You know, and you kind of like, at the time we were like, what do you do? What do you say?
Yeah, what did you do when you found those?
I wasn't on property for a lot of that. My mom saw more than I did, but it was like, yeah. And several of the other stable hands, I forget one of them, she was like, I found something, let's go look. And I remember them trotting off in the back and going look, and she'd be like, So yeah. So
would those bones just be left out there? Would they go somewhere, or are they still
they were
out
just
there?
As far as I know, they're all still out there.
Really?
So when you go to the property, if you go like to the very, very back, not closest to the road, not where the stable's at, just keep it falling all the way back, that's where a lot of odd were.
I mean, you've worked with animals, so you can tell what's an animal bone.
Yeah, you can definitely tell what's horse, what's not, because, you know, they're obviously different in size.
Yeah. Would you just say that you didn't really know what kind of bone it was?
You didn't know, because looking down at it, you know, you really couldn't tell. You'd be like,
well, how often do you see human bones also? So how do you tell, you know, what it is?
Yeah, I don't normally go just dig it around going, ooh, that's a femur.
No, that is so interesting though, that you guys would actually find these unidentifiable bones on the property.
Mhm.
And did anybody ever report it to like Robert or Will?
I think they did. I don't know. I mean,
And did they do ever anything about it or have any talks about it or anything?
I'm texting my mom now. I'm asking at the same time. But yeah, she said like they'd leave for hours, but like and Will was kind of mean towards animals. So whenever we were reading the story and listening to everything about how the anger would come out, you know, about beating an animal, when we read that and heard that, we were like, oh, that's Will. That's not Robert. That was Will.
Really?
So,
like, what do you mean? Did you see this happen?
Yeah, like he had a horse, you know, the horse didn't do what he wanted and he reached over and smacked it, you know, not nice, but yeah, reached over and smacked it because it didn't do what he wanted. Or if, you know, they weren't listening, getting into the stables and stuff like that, he'd, you know, be a little aggressive with them to get them to do whatever. And we're like,
holy shit.
What was that?
That was thunder.
Oh, wow.
Oh my God. That scared the hell out of me. Holy crap.
I almost thought something hit your window.
Yeah. Yeah, to finish that before we move on with the animal abuse, that you just saw that a lot?
Mm-hmm. Yep. So she goes, we noticed them on trail rides and cattle drives, but never put them together. Robert was always saying people left stuff on his property like dead animals in it stuff.
Really? So that's his explanation was that people left dead animals there.
Always go back there and just leave stuff.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
What a not very convincing
no
explanation.
Not at all. Not at all. So yeah.
So you at the end of the day saw a lot of just kind of off stuff going on there, from the bones to animal abuse and
to just character.
Yeah, just a weird kind of feeling.
Yep.
Did anybody ever express to you those same sorts of thoughts that worked there? Like, oh, this is kind of odd.
So I did have a guy friend there that worked for a while. He felt, you know, he was very protective of me and my mom, and he wouldn't leave us out there later on. So that was probably my senior year, between my junior and my senior year. So from 98 to 99, he wouldn't leave us out there by ourselves. He was very protective, didn't feel, he's like, I'm just going to stick around. I know I'm not working today, but I'm just going to come out anyway and take you to lunch, that type thing. Just because I didn't want you to be there by yourself, or I know your mom's coming, but I'm just gonna stay here too, you know. A couple of the other girls, stuff like that, there were your fair shares of skits girls that works there, you know. We just they were there for a couple of weeks and then they would go on their merry way. But mostly my mom and I were very hands-on, so everybody knew us. During the week we'd have people specifically ask, hey, I want Tiffany and, you know, Tori for this ride, and it was like, okay. And then, but, you know, everything else, and if we weren't there, like if we were out on a ride, we basically locked the office up, so no one was able to go in and out, but the property was always open, so if somebody showed up on property, it was always there. You know. But no one ever, like, never customers ever coming up to us and telling us, hey, something doesn't feel right. We do know that, you know, they would leave if they didn't get the right feeling. My mom says, she goes, he was always an ass to the guy workers and back down when she addressed him.
Really?
So my mom's, like I said, my mom's a hard ass, and she would be up there going, no, but he would be an ass to the guys.
Weird.
And then she asked a question, did we ever know what happened to his little girl? So he had a daughter. Did they ever come out and say what happened with her? Because we've never seen...
I didn't even know he had a daughter.
He's got a daughter. She was little. So my brother was 6, 7 around that time. His little girl probably was 5 to 10.
she just, no one knows.
Yeah, we've tried looking at, stuff like that, and we even looked it up the other day and couldn't find anything with this little girl. We found Will, but nothing with him. We saw the ex-wives, but yeah. Oh, my mom says she was 3 or 4.
You guys met her?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, she came out to the property. We would see her. She'd go horseback riding with me.
Did she? There's no record of her online? That's kind of shocking.
She was around for 2 to 3 years, and then her and her mom left. Yep.
Really? Interesting. A lot of mystery surrounding all this, it's so intriguing.
It's it's definitely, it's like,
something just doesn't add up with all the things
it doesn't.
Found. It's like there's something deeper.
Yeah, but like all those, all the news stories and stuff like that, he was a smart man. He was not many people work for NASA and, just walk away.
Yeah.
So our biggest question, and my mom and I will say it, we don't think it was him. We swear up and down it was Will, and he's covering for his kid.
Really? Yeah, you see, I've never even thought of that before. That's such an interesting, and even if we got the name Robert on the Ovilus, we got some other stuff when we were there too. It could even point to him,
Yeah.
If it was, because it's his name.
Yeah.
That's
There's 2 of them.
Yeah.
It's like, which one is it?
Right. Do you have any final thoughts on all this you'd like to share?
I'm intrigued. So, I'm always up. If you want to know somebody else to go with you, let me know, and I'll drive down.
Okay.
I'll make a weekend of it.
Okay.
It's no big for me. I'll make a weekend of it and come down.
Okay, you're invited. Next time we're out there, we'll bring you back and give us a little tour of the area.
Well,
thank you again.
Thank you.
I'll let you go and tell your mom I said hi too, and your family.
I will. Thank you.
For watching.
All right. Bye.
The Killing Fields, man, what a bizarre and mysterious place. This is a forest where murder is common, where death is an everyday occurrence. And the thing that makes this whole area so interesting is the fact that there's never been anybody held accountable, for the most part, for any of these crimes. Was it 1 killer? Was it 2 killers? Was it 3, 4? People just don't know. And the thing is, we're not, saying here in this documentary that we know that this certain suspect was the killer. But it is interesting when you look at the evidence, you look at some of the evidence that we gathered through our devices, you look at testimony from people who worked in the area. It seems to paint a vivid picture of the Killing Fields and almost gives you into who may have been carrying out these killings. We went back out one final time, just recently, to head out to the Killing Fields late at night. And the experience that we had there that night was shocking, not only to us, but I'm sure it's going to be shocking to you. This is a place that people just don't go. I would not recommend going out to the Killing Fields late at night either. But it was on that hot summer night, just a week ago, when we dove even deeper into the heart of the Killing Fields to try to get an answer to the mystery. And let me tell you, what you're about to see next is shocking. All right, everybody, welcome back to the episode. We are here right now in August of 2021. Last time we were here at the Killing Fields doing an investigation. It was what, November?
Yeah. Last
November. And if you remember from that clip we just played a little bit ago, we got the word Robert right over there. We're here at the Magnolia Creek Baptist Church outside of League City, Texas. This is where 4 of the bodies from the Killing Fields were found. If you guys remember from what we've told you already in the episode, the Killing Fields is not limited to this small portion of League City. The Killing Fields is a vague term
that describes a massive parcel of land from here all the way to Galveston. So it's a large swath of land that we're trying to investigate here. But since 4 corpses were discovered right in this area, as you saw in that interview earlier, the stables where Robert Abel worked, he operated these stables. They're right over there within a rock's throw from where we're standing right now. And we're shooting in infrared because, let me show you, the only light that we have with us tonight, this is my dependable light, the one that I take with every time when we film, it's dead. You can see this right here. All 4 batteries dead. I just charged them in the car for about 20 minutes, dead. And I think that it's a faulty light. I don't think it's a battery issue, which is weird. This is the first time I've ever shown up to a location and not had light. So
makes it more creepy.
Yeah, it's already kind of creepy just going into this, but we've got a flashlight. We're gonna head back. We're gonna do an Estes method. We're gonna do the dowsing rods, the EMF, everything. So this is our final night here at the Killing Fields, and hopefully we can get some sort of an answer as to who killed these women.
Yeah.
How are you feeling?
I'm ready. The last time we came here, we got some insane activity, so I'm really excited to see what we get tonight.
If you guys haven't listened already, go listen to Murder in America, episode 2, the Texas Killing Fields. It'll give you a whole idea of the horrific acts that we're investigating tonight, but it's too long to explain in an episode.
We go in a lot of depth in that episode, and if you want to hear the story of these victims, go listen to episode 2 of Murder in America, where we explain all of it.
But I do want to say, though I love my fiance Courtney, beautiful, beautiful woman, we have her beautiful brother right here tonight too, once again.
Stop it, guys.
Look at this guy, look at him.
I know, I'm back, better than ever.
You guys have seen him in the chat.
Yeah, I've been in the chat, trying to type it up, talk to you guys.
Yes, he's a hardcore paranormal fan, even before we started dating.
Yeah, since the beginning, about 10,000 subscribers, I was there.
The boy's been here.
Right there in the thick of it.
We're happy to have you here, Connor. We're going to have a really good night.
We're creating that intro to tell you guys the reason why there's no light here. All we have is one flashlight. So the Killing Fields are, if you can see, over there in that direction in the pitch black, literally.
Yeah.
You can't see anything over there.
And honestly, I already have a really creepy vibe going on.
Yeah,
here.
it's definitely eerie out
every
here.
time we came out
Yeah,
here.
it's very creepy out here. So
Well, we're gonna head in and
Alright.
let's do this, guys.